But tell me now, who led you to Dr. Barry Sturman and the EEG protocols?
So
I'm
John
a big
allowed
fan of
me to
EEG
stay.
protocol.
Yes. He allowed me to stay at his house for several months as I was recovering, because back then there wasn't a solution for brain recovery. There wasn't as much of the brain research as we have now was not available back then. So you were sent home with a brain injury, with a swollen brain and a myriad of symptoms from that, with headaches and dizziness and lightheadedness, and my, of course, inability to speak and reason, forgot everything, couldn't hold a conversation and remember it. My business that I had started almost completely failed. My employees at the time took it over, and they are still with me to this day because they were so dedicated at the time, and they're amazing. And so I was able to stay and recover because I wasn't driving, and started to do research and found my way to Dr. Barry Sturman, who was working with kids in a very brand new protocol of neurofeedback at the time. EEG has existed for a long time, but he started working with the kids with, deep in the autistic spectrum, that had seizures, that were in a place of ADHD and ADD. I mean, he really was making significant changes with these children. And I knew it because I would sit in the waiting room with the mothers, and they were slowly getting their children back.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about it, and I was just sitting there waiting for my appointment, but I was observing what was happening, and it was amazing. So it's the electrodes on the head where they place, and then you feed back to the computer. And in my case, I was growing a hot air balloon. And the image of the hot air balloon would appear on the screen with just one little tiny square. And that's an image that we know. It's a very familiar image. The brain knows that image, and it wants to build it, but it can't get the reward unless it sends the right frequency to the program. And then the program will send the frequency back. If it matches it, sends the frequency back, and another square appears.
Right.
So it's
so
the
it's
reward.
Kind of this retraining
Loop, yes.
Yeah,
Retraining, rebuilding, restacking the neurons, refiring them all together so that they wire together, as Dr. Joe talks about. And I was literally doing that with my brain to reawaken after he had done the assessment and found that there was little or no signal coming from the right prefrontal cortex. And he assessed, that was several weeks to get that assessment. Then he knew specifically what to work on, and then created this protocol, which he now lectures around the world doing. And I don't believe he practices anymore, but he became famous for that particular protocol.
But others, can practice with it.
Yes,
right?
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's part of, the beginning. And if you've had a TBI, one of my main messages is it is possible to heal the brain. The techniques are available and out there, like practitioners of neurofeedback, an EEG center in your area, but all the way to the fact that you don't have to have a TBI to access those types of centers. They're great for peak performance and mental clarity and anxiety, depression, hormone balancing. I mean, there are
Math.
Wow. I didn't know that one.
Yes.
That's amazing. There isn't
I have a few of those protocols.
sleep, insomnia.
Yeah.
It's amazing what EEG has been able to heal.
Yeah, and they use it a lot also for stroke victims,
Which
that
is
have,
incredible.
Paralysis on one side of their body, and I hear some of those protocols may take a longer period of time, but they do help.
That took me about 2 years to regain my complete speech pattern, and that was why I basically started the show. And that's where I started to realize that connectedness and conscious conversations was the only way I was going to continue that work of the neurofeedback, because it's not a one-time fix all, as you know. You need several sessions. In my case, it was closer to 24, and then I went back again for 6 more months. But I couldn't keep going back because I married that guy.
Okay.
And I was pregnant and still going through EEG at the time, which was amazing. You can do it pregnant.
Yeah, it's not harmful at all.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, he told me that I was potentially wiring my baby's brain at the same time as mine.
Oh, curious.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably did, because I hear she's very connected.
She's connected. She's very wicked smart. Smarter than her parents.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she
great.
is. she's a, yeah, so
So you gave her a little level up
little
there.
boost in the womb.